Dear Sagittarius, do you ever feel like you're in the middle of a journey and suddenly the map just disappeared? Everything that once excited you now feels dull. The people you once shared dreams with now seem to speak a language that no longer belongs to you. And there's something inside you, tugging, pulling, leading you toward a direction even you don't fully understand yet. You are not lost, you are being called. Because the spirit of Sagittarius cannot be caged for long, not even in traps disguised as love, stability, or obligation. You did not come here to merely survive, you came to seek the truth. And sometimes truth isn't written in words, but carved through heartbreak. I know you love freedom, but you've compromised too, kept yourself in spaces that no longer inspired you, just because you thought, maybe this is what being an adult means. Maybe I should learn to endure. But no, Sagittarius, you were not born to endure. You were born to blaze. When your soul grows larger than the life you're living, everything starts to break, not to hurt you, but to release you. And if now you find yourself drifting away from everything that once felt familiar, if it feels like everything is falling apart, trust me, a new journey is about to begin. I used to think maturity meant learning how to endure. But you know what true maturity is? It's when you have enough faith to leap into the unknown, even when you don't see the landing. That's you, Sagittarius, the one who dares to leave behind the familiar in search of what is right. And in doing so, you are rewriting the very definition of courage. If you're standing at a crossroads and still don't know which way to go, write this in the comments like a vow to your own soul. I, Sagittarius, am ready to keep walking, even if the path isn't clear yet. And now, let me ask you, have you been waking up at 3 a.m. lately? Do you feel like someone's watching you? Maybe even following you? Do you sometimes catch a wisp of mist, a flicker of golden light in the corner of your eye? That's not random. That's a warning. That's a signal. You are Sagittarius, a zodiac of potent energy. The fire inside you doesn't just warm, it illuminates. And light always attracts attention, both the sacred and the shadow. Someone is uncomfortable with your light. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you're evolving faster than they expected. And they can't control a spirit that won't kneel. Who are they? It might be someone once close, now quietly draining your energy through envy. Someone who once cheered you on, but now feels insecure when you actually shine. Someone who said they loved you, but never truly saw who you are. And Sagittarius, I know you're not the kind to be suspicious. You love freedom so much, you give people space. You believe in the goodness of others. But you also need to know, not everyone gets close to you because they love you. Some come near just to bask in the glow of your flame, with no intention of helping it burn brighter. They manipulate with gentle words. They restrain you with fake concern. They make you question your own intuition. And that's why you've been feeling out of place. Because the space around you is clouded with energies that no longer match your frequency. Archangel Michael is planting his sword of light to shield you. And Jophiel, the bringer of wisdom, is activating the sharp intuition within you. You won't be fooled anymore. You're beginning to see clearly who's here to build and who's here to break. If you've ever walked away from a conversation feeling completely drained, if you've ever dreamed of someone you've tried so hard to forget, if you've ever sensed a sign right before stepping into a new relationship, then congratulations, you are awakening. And when you begin to awaken, the world no longer looks the way it used to. Everything starts to reveal its true face. If these words make you shiver, but also bring you a quiet relief, because finally, someone is saying what you've never dared to admit, then write this down as a vow to yourself. I choose the light. I will no longer let anyone drain the soul from me. And if you're still here, then take my hand and keep walking. Because in the next part, I will show you why you, the soul of Sagittarius, were chosen to walk through such great pain, and why those who once looked down on you will be the very ones who must witness your rising. Sagittarius, have you ever lived with the feeling that something invisible is always with you? Not fear, not pressure, but a kind of spiritual gaze, following you quietly, gently, yet powerful enough to make you cry in the middle of the night, just from the deep sense that you're not entirely alone. That is protection, not from this physical world, but from other realms, where souls who've gone before you are lifting you in ways no human eye could see. I feel it clearly now. A departed one is walking beside you. Not a ghost, but a part of a soul you once knew, once loved, once lost. Maybe a relative, maybe someone you've never met, but whose spirit beats in sync with yours. They did not come to frighten you. They came to shield you from what you cannot yet see. Because you, Sagittarius, are a torch in the dark, and light always draws both allies and enemies. It is not a coincidence that you escaped situations others would have been crushed by. It's not luck that you sensed something right before the truth unraveled. It's no accident that you awoke from a violent dream, only to discover something bad nearly happened that same day. That is your guide. They don't stop you from experiencing life, because they know Sagittarius doesn't learn by theory. They only stop the worst from finishing you before you fully grasp the meaning inside the lesson. And you know what? Even if you felt abandoned before, the truth is, you were saved many times. You just couldn't see the hand pulling you from the edge. There were arrows aimed straight at you, but they veered off at the last second. There were manipulators who plotted deeply, but they never got past the edge of your light. Because you are not walking alone. You are surrounded by a council of light. If your heart is quietly nodding right now, leave this in the comments as your declaration. I, Sagittarius, choose to believe in divine protection. And if you have truly felt that presence, if you've survived, not just physically but spiritually, hit subscribe as a sacred confirmation of your faith. Share this video like a torch you pass to someone else, because someone out there may need this gentle reminder, just as you once did. Now, Sagittarius, I see a door opening. Not a physical door, but a vibrational gateway. You are no longer who you once were. You've crossed through darkness, you've walked through pain and still held on to your heart. And that alone has activated a rebirth of your soul. You no longer need to chase the feeling of being chosen. Because you are the chosen one. Chosen to bring light to the darkest places. Chosen to speak truth, even when that truth makes others uncomfortable. But I know, deep inside, there's still a quiet part of you asking, will I still be loved if I stop trying to please everyone? And the answer is yes. And that person, that soul, is coming closer every single day. This won't be a relationship like the ones before. Not the kind of love that shrinks you. Not the kind that trades your freedom for presence or tries to fill its holes with your light. This will be a meeting of two souls who've both walked through their own darkness. Two people who have shed expectations, released fear, let go of control until only truth remains. A person who doesn't come to possess you, but to walk beside you. Not to fix you, but to listen to the light you carry. But for them to arrive, you have to cut the old threads. The ones still tying your spirit to people no longer aligned with your frequency. You can't hold on to the past and open your heart to the future at the same time. And I know you're strong enough to do this. Because Sagittarius always lives by truth. And the greatest truth here is, you deserve a love you never have to fake. That person is not far away. They are simply waiting for you to sweep the final pieces of your broken heart aside. And when you're ready, they will walk in, softly, like a prayer that's finally been answered. Sagittarius, this is no longer a story about surviving pain. This is the story of you, being reborn from the very fire that once tried to consume you. No one saw the full journey you walked, and they don't have to, because you are not here to be understood. You are here to expand, to go deeper, to reach higher, to walk further. Every time you dare to release what is no longer real. I see a doorway opening. But this isn't about a contract or a long-distance trip. It's a threshold of vibration, a thin line between the version of you that once was and the soul you are becoming. No one sees that transition. It happens in silence, quiet as an unfinished poem. But you feel it. Every cell in your body is humming, because your soul is preparing to return, a sacred return to remembrance. I used to think healing meant no longer hurting, but now I know. Healing begins the moment you stop fearing the pain. When you stop running, when you stop begging to be understood, and instead you face yourself in the quiet and say, I'm still here, and I'm okay. Sagittarius, you've gone farther than you think. And now you no longer need someone to point the way, because your intuition has become the only map you truly trust. You're not a soul made to settle. You are a traveler. You came to break borders, to dissolve limits others have accepted as fate. Sometimes that makes you lonely, because no one understands what you're looking for on a journey without clear destination. But you do. Your soul does. And so does God. And that's why a true companion will appear. Not to save you from loneliness, but because they carry a loneliness of their own, one that echoes yours. They have healed themselves. They too are returning from a pilgrimage through fire. They don't come to own you, but to witness you. And this moment won't arrive like a movie scene. There will be no soundtrack, no flash of light, no dramatic fanfare. It will come like a heartbeat, suddenly in rhythm. Like a sentence, spoken at just the right time. And you'll recognize it, because your soul has been preparing to recognize it all along. And if these words stirred something gentle in you, a quiet trust still flickering deep inside your heart, write down this promise to yourself. I, Sagittarius, am returning to my own light. This is not some grand proclamation. It's a reminder and a signal to the one truly meant for you that you are ready. And don't miss what's coming next, because in the next part of this journey, I will reveal the psychic gifts now awakening in Sagittarius and why your soul is one of the most powerful on this planet. This story isn't over, because your path is still unfolding. So stay with me and keep going. We'll meet again in the next chapter, because the holiest part has yet to be revealed. Now it's time you see this clearly, Sagittarius. Not everyone who comes near you is here to understand you, to love you, or to build something true with you. Some come only to touch the light you radiate, so they can use it. Some wear kindness like a costume, but behind it lies an intention you couldn't even imagine. You are Sagittarius, and your intuition is far more powerful than you've ever known. And now, it is awakening. You're starting to see through pretense, the half-formed words, the hollow smiles, the gestures that carry no soul. And you don't respond with anger anymore. You respond with the silence of someone who understands. There is someone approaching, or perhaps already waiting on the edge of your life. They don't arrive with sweet promises. They come with a different frequency, the frequency of sincerity, of a soul who has walked through pain just like you. And now, only truth remains. This new connection doesn't come to soothe your loneliness. It comes to remind you, you don't have to choose solitude just to be yourself. You can walk with another, if they truly see you. But before that connection can begin, you must be willing to close the old door. No one can walk into your heart if the ghost of your past still sits inside. So be brave enough to clear it out, not with hatred, but with gratitude. Thank you for the lesson. Now I move forward. You've been different since you were a child. You always asked deeper questions, felt things more intensely. You used to think you were too sensitive, too dreamy, too complicated. But the truth is, you were born with a gift, a sacred ability to connect with the divine. And now, as you heal, those gifts are returning. You will dream messages. You will sense the air shift when someone enters a room. You will know what's coming before it arrives. You are not broken. You are opening. This is not just healing. This is a calling home, calling you back to your soul's true mission, not to impress anyone, but to live clearly, honestly, in your own light. You are Sagittarius, the teacher, the storyteller, the fire-bearing wanderer, the restless traveler, always seeking and now ready to share. Your mission isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the gentle thing, a kind gesture to a stranger, an embrace for a trembling soul, a sentence you write, a story you tell, a presence you bring. Don't be afraid. Don't shrink anymore. The world needs you. If something is rising in you now, a feeling too real to name, but so true it brings tears to your eyes, write this down as your soul's gateway. I, Sagittarius, accept the gift of my soul, and I am ready to share its light. Don't wait until you feel perfect. Begin while your hands are still shaking, because the world doesn't need a flawless you. The world needs you, just as you are. And if you're still here, still listening, let me say this, you are ready. More ready than you know. And as you step forward, miracles you never imagined will begin to find you in the softest, most sacred ways. There is still one last thing I need to tell you. The most important thing. The thing the universe whispered to me this morning. Do you want to hear it? Dearest Sagittarius, I know there have been times you've asked yourself, why do good people get hurt? Why do those who hurt others seem to remain untouched? And I want you to know, nothing is overlooked. Not a single tear, not a single prayer, not a single act of kindness from you has been in vain. They've been seen, not by people, but by the universe. Divine justice doesn't always arrive quickly, but it always arrives precisely. And that moment, it's coming, not for revenge, but for balance. Those who lied about you, who manipulated you, who denied your light, they will face what they've sown. Not because you cursed them, but because energy does not lie. You don't need to retaliate. All you need to do is stand in your light and witness everything unfold exactly as it should. And as the old doors begin to close, pay attention. A new one is opening right before you. Not just any door, but a destined gate. A pivotal proposal is approaching. It may look like a move, a new job, a creative project, or a hand reaching for yours at the perfect moment. You might feel hesitant, you might feel afraid, but remember, you didn't come this far just to stay in a place that no longer holds your soul. Trust this. What was lost will return. Not as it once was, but better. Cleaner. Multiplied. Because divine justice doesn't return what was broken. It brings you what is worthy. If you feel something drawing near, but you still can't quite name it, write this down as a declaration to yourself. I, Sagittarius, am ready to step through the new gate with complete trust in divine justice. And don't stop now, because the greatest part is still waiting. This is the point of no return. A threshold where your soul steps into a completely new dimension of existence. You're no longer the person you were yesterday. You've crossed storms, not just with strength, but with faith. And now that faith is opening a path that no one else can block. But remember this too, you cannot carry the old baggage with you. You cannot step into the future while still clinging to what is already dying. A relationship that no longer grows. A job that's draining your light. An outdated idea of who you think you are. All of that must be released. Not because you didn't love, but because you've outgrown what you once thought you needed. I used to think growing up meant finding a place to settle. But now I know. Growing up means daring to leave what once felt like home when your heart no longer belongs there. Sagittarius, you've lived enough to know. True freedom doesn't come from running away, but from facing truth and choosing yourself again. And this is what I feel most clearly about you now. You are finally ready to live a life aligned with your soul like never before. A life with higher vibration, with more freedom, more honesty, and more sacredness. If these words stir something deep within you, let it be your declaration. I, Sagittarius, am ready to live the life my soul has always longed for. You no longer need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need to fit any mold. You are Sagittarius. You were born to carve paths. And now, it's time to walk into the greatest chapter of your journey. It doesn't have to end beautifully. It only has to be true, and you're doing that every single day. Keep going, because the light is waiting for you on the other side of your faith. We will meet again, on a higher frequency, wider, truer, closer to your authentic being. And if you've listened all the way to here, maybe your soul has already recognized something your mind hasn't yet named. You've traveled far, not just through space, but through the deepest layers of your being. From the words that made you question your worth, to the silent nights where you held yourself through the darkness. And now, as the light begins to rise, as the calling of your soul grows louder than ever, it is time to step into the final act, where there are no more predictions, only confirmations. A whisper from the universe, a touch from your future self, and a nod from your heart that has finally remembered how to trust. Come with me, because this ending is not a closing. It is an opening to something far greater than the journey so far. And so, Sagittarius, this wasn't just a reading. It was a remembering that you are no longer a lost soul. You are the light. You are the survivor. And now, you are the guide. Hold your head high, let go of what no longer belongs, and walk forward without asking for anyone's permission. If these words have awakened something in you, write this as your final affirmation. I, Sagittarius, am ready to live true to my soul and never look back. And if you truly are ready, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and share this message with others who are also awakening. Because the world needs your light, and you, it's time to step out of the shadows. We'll meet again on higher ground, in greater light, and in deeper truth.